Right, today we're taking a look at the latest wheel from Inmotion, the Inmotion V9. Now, we'll get a couple of things out of the way straight away. This is not the most powerful EUC on the market. It doesn't have the best suspension. It doesn't have the biggest battery, but it's not supposed to. This is a commuter wheel. It's designed to be lightweight, easy to live with, easy to commute on, and give a really nice plush ride on those uneven surfaces. With all that said though, this wheel does have some amazing features packed into it that no other wheel has yet. The biggest and probably most important one, especially here in Australia, is this is a UL certified wheel. That means the charger, the BMS, the cells have all been tested and have been certified that these are safe to be used in a personal electric vehicle. The other one this has, and it's a really cool feature, is the Ride Connect software. This has Track My software in it, and it's going to have a whole lot of new features added on as the wheel becomes more popular and as they get more firmwares done to the wheel. Now the next thing before we go and ride, we have to talk about the price, because this is, in my opinion, a very affordable wheel. You can get it from as low as $1,999 here in Australia. I'll put some global links below as well to Inmotion, to EVs, e-riders, and whoever the biggest retailer is in America. I'm based in Australia, so everything I'm going to be talking about today is going to be in kilometers and kilos. Alright, but honestly, that is enough talking. Let's get the helmet on, let's go for a ride. Let me show you exactly what this wheel is designed for. I'll give you my thoughts. I do have two issues with this wheel, and they're not deal breakers, they're just annoying, but I'll share that on the ride. Morning. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the look of the V9. When we saw the first renders, when they first got announced, it was terribly ugly. It was not a good looking EUC. I think they've made some really nice tweaks to it, some color changes, they've changed that shell a little bit, and it is definitely a lot more on trend, shall we say. Again, it's a commuter wheel, it's a plastic shell, they've done that to keep the weight down, and I think now with those LEDs on the side, I think it looks really nice. It's kind of cyberpunky, Robocop-y. I don't know, what do you think? I do like this. This is all customizable. You can have this chase, you can have it go with the music, you can have it all off. You can make your own in the Inmotion app to be any colors you want with any emotion you want. On the front here, it's got this nice grille. It's got their new logo. Very similar headlight to the V11. It is adjustable slightly up and down. On, off. On, off. Nice noise there. This shell will take a battering if you drop it, but they're very easily replaceable, which is nice. The screen on the top is okay. In bright sunlight, you're not going to be able to see it that well, but it is there. Shows you your speed, your battery, all that sort of information. On the top here, it's got your handle. Now the handle is one of my first gripes. It's missing, I feel like it's missing something on the end here. Everyone who's picked it up and goes to grab it, they go, oh, there's no stopper, there's no knob on the end. Similar to like the V12 had. It would be nice if it had this is just a little bit bigger. So when you slide it up, your hand doesn't slide off the end of it. At the back, you've got a super bright brake light, and you've got indicators or turn signals, which are pretty cool. They're very sensitive. And my favorite thing is this built-in stand. Nothing to flick down, nothing to get in the way to forget to put up when you go riding. It's just a cool looking wheel. These pedals are off the V14. These are good pedals, and with the power and the purpose of this wheel, you won't need to upgrade them. These pedals, I mean, I'm a size 11 US and my whole foot is on there, so it's not going to require an upgrade. You can get all the leverage you need to get. You can pendulum it if you need to. It's really nice. I have a suspicion that to get the UL certification they had to use a very high quality cell, and the GBs have been around long enough. They do provide that peace of mind. They are a really nice battery. They quote it's going to get around 50 kilometers in range, and it has a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour. Being an Inmotion wheel, it has all the usual safety standards in it. You can set your speed alarms, you can set your pedal tilt back, all that sort of thing. So you have a peace of mind that if you're riding this thing and you are pushing it, it's going to beep and it's going to push you back. Now the pushback I've seen on other videos is quite subtle, but it does push back and it does get stronger if you ignore it, and it does beep through the wheel as well. So weird riding without pads. It does take a little while to get used to. It takes a little while getting used to not having pads on a wheel, but this one does accelerate and brake quite nicely, considering there are no pads there to lock you in. Now, something that really surprised me about the V9 is how it doesn't feel anything like the V8S or F, even though it's still a 1000-watt motor. This one feels like it has a lot more performance, a lot more acceleration. It is a lot more fun, and I think it comes down to that they are using the latest Raptor M controller, so that does deliver quality power, more stable speed, and you can really utilize a lot more of that 1000 watts. Whereas I feel like the V8 series was more of a beginner slash toy slash last mile solution. This is definitely a legitimate commuter wheel and something you can ride on and have a lot of fun. It doesn't constantly throw up over power areas. It doesn't constantly tell me to slow down. I can hit a hill and that Raptor M is stable enough to take me up it without too many complaints. As far as the tire, it's a 16x3 tubeless tire. It's a very rounded tire. At slow speed, it's super nimble. If you're in the city, you can turn it on a dime quite nicely. At high speeds, it does try to stand you up a little bit. So if you're at 25 plus, it will try to keep you upright. That could be to do with the pressure of the tire. I need to play around with that. The suspension, 60 mils of suspension travel, which is really nice in this compact design. It has an upper and a lower chamber. It does take a little while to dial that in. In the book, it recommends a certain PSI for certain weights, which is nice. I'm glad they do that. They don't reference the top chamber at all, which is a little bit odd. Just going from V11 experience, whatever you put in the bottom, you put about 40% in the top. That's going to help with your rebound. And it's going to give you a nice smooth ride without going bang as it returns to the top. It's a nice size wheel. You can see how it sits. It's not too low. It can really sit on your leg quite nicely. But we're in the city now, and this is as smooth as you'd hope it could be. The air suspension is obviously old technology, but it's worked this long for the V11 and the V11Y. So I'm glad they didn't try to recreate the wheel. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel, sorry. This does such a nice job. let's keep talking about the electronics, because I think that's the standout feature of this wheel. Something that's really nice, like not only is it UL certified, like proper UL certified. And like I said, that's a really big deal here, especially here in Australia, especially in New South Wales, Sydney. It is also IPX6 water rated. And this isn't just them going, yeah, it's pretty good, it's actually certified IPX6. So that's gonna really give you peace of mind as far as if you get caught out in a shower on the way home, if you're riding through long wet grass, you know the electronics in this wheel are sealed and safe. But yeah, like I said in the intro, this wheel is not about speed, it's not about range, it's not even about power. It's about commuting, it's about comfort, it's about going from point A to point B to point C and having a whole lot of fun. This is a great beginner wheel, it's a great commuter wheel, it's a really good secondary wheel to take out if you want to ride to work and take it on the bus or the train, if you're allowed to, in your city of course. That's what the V9 offers. All right, but before we wrap, before we do the final ride, what are the two things that annoy me about the V9? Like I said at the beginning, these are not deal breakers, but they're enough to make you go, ah, if you know what I mean. Right, the first one is, I've already talked about the handle. I feel like this needs a little bump stop at the end here, something just to stop your hand from running off the back of it. The other thing, and I've seen a couple other YouTubers have talked about it, the suspension top holes, the grommets, I wish they were somehow attached, because both of mine fell in straight away. So inside there somewhere are the rubber caps. Everyone I know who's opened it has at least lost one. I've lost two. They're both in there. I need to take it apart and get them out. And that's it. That's the two gripes for this $2,000 Australian suspension, 23 kilo, 1000 watt, 750 watt hour, 84 volt electric unicycle, with lights, with speakers, with Ride Connect, with audio sync, tubeless tire. It's a lot of wheel for that price, and it is very, very fun to carve and to just ride around the city. Anyway, that's the end. I'm gonna ride back to the car now. We'll do a little bit more ride footage. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more EUC content, make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. What do you think about the V9? Oil truck. What do you think about the V9? Do you think it has a place in the EUC market? I firmly believe it does, but tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you thought about the video. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, ride safe, wear a helmet, and we'll see you on the next video.